This has been going on for decades, and now the time has come for Sadiq Khan to face the music. Hey up everyone and welcome to Political Nerds. I'm Steph the Alter Nerd, your nerdy political guide from Washington DC to Westminster and beyond. Now of course, before I jump into this, the usual disclaimer: do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and I'm not inciting hatred to anyone or particular group, religion, etc. So let's jump into it first and foremost with this. Remember when I reported on this clip right here where Sadiq Khan was asking for a definition of grooming gangs when he was asked what was happening in London when it came to those evil monsters? Now, I told you through one of my amateur linguistic analysis videos that Sadiq Khan was hiding something big. Now, in this clip right here that I also reported on, he was even asked if he was going to ring-fence money for victims of grooming gangs. Again, he skirts around that question. He never answers it. Even Sadiq Khan's deputy refused to rule out grooming gangs in London when confronted by your favourite councillor in the UK, Susan Hall, over the issue. Well, guess what? Sadly, I was right. He was avoiding answering the question overall because he knew the true answer he would provide would not be good for him. So what has actually happened? Let's go through this. So, the report from the Express saying Sadiq Khan grooming gang cover-up exposed as new evidence revealed. He's been accused of covering up evidence of grooming gangs in London after an Express investigation. We know now that Sadiq Khan actually read reports of young girls being victims of these grooming gangs, whilst at the same time publicly denying that there are any of these gangs in the capital. So grooming gang whistleblower Maggie Oliver told The Express that the cases followed the same pattern she had seen with Greater Manchester Police's cover-up of the Rochdale scandal. Shadow Home Secretary Chris Phillip also accused Sadiq Khan of being part of a cover-up and called for accountability. Now, Sadiq Khan and the Met Police have consistently claimed to have no reports of grooming gangs in the capital, even though now we know that Sadiq Khan has actually read reports of grooming gangs operating in London. This is insane. Now, in the pages of 4 different His Majesty Inspector of Constabulary and Fire and Rescue Services reports from 2016 to 2015, we know that Sadiq Khan personally responded to this. And the Express found details of 6 potential grooming gang victims in that report. Now, they say when these case studies were assessed by Maggie Oliver and care professional and author Chris Wilde, they found red flags of grooming gangs. Oliver telling them that she was certain 3 victims could be described as victims of grooming gangs. And based on the on-the-ground assessments of the Met's handling of these cases from the start of Sadiq Khan's tenure to this year, the inspectorate report explains, often in horrific detail, how the police were actually slow to react to evidence that girls as young as 13 were being victims of these grooming gangs in London. Sadiq Khan has publicly indicated he read all of these documents in public statements he made in response to the reports, which often criticised the Met. But then appears before the London Assembly and says he hadn't seen any grooming gang cases in London. Now, answering an off-topic question from a Labour Assembly member, Sir Mark Rowley revealed it had a steady flow of live multi-offender child investigations and a very significant number of cases that would need to be reinvestigated as a result of the Home Office grooming gangs review. Oliver saying she wasn't surprised that examples of grooming gangs were hiding in plain sight, saying, "I came to realise that everybody at the top 100% knew and wanted to cover it up." Could that include Sadiq Khan? Certainly suggests that it could be, right? Certainly looks like it, right? because he actually read reports of young underage British girls in the capital, in London, being victims of grooming gangs in London. Yeah, wouldn't you have thunked it? Of course he voted at one point to reject a fully costed inquiry into the predominantly Muslim Pakistani grooming gangs that are operating in London. No matter how many times Sadiq Khan wants to deny they even exist in London, we know. And when he was questioned here all the way back in 2020, this is 5 years ago, about what he was doing even back then to investigate grooming gangs operating in London, he deflects in the most disgusting way. And the person who asked the question is then freaking silenced. Get a load of this, guys.
These have obviously been found in many, many other cities and towns around the country, but there hasn't been much of many prosecutions happened in London. But, obviously, as the police commissioner for Northumberland said, this is happening anywhere, and the only reason why it's not being found is that people aren't looking. Are you looking in London for grooming gangs in London in order to prosecute people? Because if it's going on in cities like Oxford and Bristol and Peterborough and Aylesbury, smaller places, it's surely going on in London as well on a large scale.
Can I just be clear, Chair? Is the inference that because of my faith or my ethnic origin, I'm not seeking to follow these crimes?
No, I'm asking you because you're the Police and Crime Commissioner.
Assembly Member Curtin, I think you're pretty much drifting now onto drifting off the subject itself. So can I just ask you to stick to the topic and ask a relevant question, please?
Interesting how he seems to be the moderator of this discussion. And I'm just saying, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, he looks of Muslim origin to me. And if that's the case, I wonder why he wanted to shut down that question so fast. And the question that was asked wasn't because Sadiq Khan is of Muslim faith. As the gentleman said, it's because you're the crime commissioner. You're the mayor of London. We just want to know what you're doing. That's it. Regardless of your religion, it don't care. This is insane. Now, Susan Hall reacted to the news that Sadiq Khan pretty much knew all along that grooming gangs have been operating in London, despite his denials, saying, "I've been asking Sadiq Khan and his police deputy about grooming gangs for months. His reaction has been a disgrace." Maggie Oliver has accused Khan of lying through his back teeth to protect grooming gangs in London. And then you've got future Lord Mayor of London himself, Ant Middleton, reacting with this. "I feel a huge sense of frustration that I can't step in and give the people the safety and security that they have a right to and deserve, especially to our children. If Khan really had London and Londoners' best interests at heart, he would step down and allow a real leader to take over. Khan, your cultural ideologies do not mix with ours. Your values and principles are not morally aligned and are anti-British, especially anti-English. London is the capital of England, and there's absolutely nothing English about you whatsoever. You should have never been allowed to hold such a position. Stop endangering our people and beautiful capital city with your toxic ways. Do not play dumb when it comes to the lives of our children." But in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, he's been playing dumb when it comes to the lives of our children and the victims of grooming gangs for literally years. Now, he's also getting slammed right here by Reform UK's Layla Cunningham here on Talk TV. Check this out.
Sadiq Khan and the Metropolitan Police Commissioners have continued to deny trauma suffered by grooming gang survivors. And the quote here is that they should be ashamed. And they do a whole litany of different attacks that have happened. 13-year-old girls, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 15-year-olds, all sorts of people have been identified as victims. But he doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, the evidence is sickening. Children as young as 13 raped in London hotels by groups of men. It's all there in the official reports that the mayor personally read. And for I don't know how long now he's been saying that there's no grooming gangs here, but his own documents, the same ones that he responded to, is exactly the same pattern, or a similar pattern to what we saw in Rochdale. The evidence is there in black and white.
Right.
Yeah, the evidence is there in black and white. And Adam Brooks, aka Essex PR, he reacted to this news, saying the following. Have a look at this clip.
On my lap, the Mayor, Sadiq Khan of London, of course, accused over grooming gangs cover-up in the capital. Sadiq Khan has been accused of covering up evidence of grooming gangs in London after an Express investigation. I'm going to try and dig into this front page as much as possible, but, of course, we did a report on this only a few weeks ago, looking at an investigator and a former Met police detective who'd spoken out and said that, along the line of these things, Adam, it doesn't surprise me that there are grooming gangs in London, and of course we don't know if this is true. We can't accuse him of covering anything because we don't know for sure. But this evidence would suggest what the Daily Express are suggesting Sadiq Khan
anyone
has.
that didn't think there was grooming gangs in London when there's 9 million people living in London, and the demographic is very much foreign-born and different cultures. You know, it's obvious that we have a grooming gang problem in our capital. That man wouldn't answer any questions on that when Susan Hall put it to him in City Hall. I think he's the most untrustworthy, and I think he's the most unpopular politician, apart from Keir Starmer, in this country. He's hated by everyone that I know, and it would not surprise me. Again, this is an accusation. It's not proven. But of course we've got grooming gangs in London. That's just a fact.
So
You need a brain transplant if you don't think grooming gangs are operating in London. That is for damn certain. And if this is all true in terms of the allegations against Sadiq Khan, if he has been caught up covering grooming gangs in London, then I agree with Lee Harris. He must resign. He has got to go. Now, Sadiq Khan, he's trying to go on with the whole business as usual, nothing to see here mantra by declaring that the Met is cracking down on organised shoplifting. He can't hide, though, because now it's been revealed that, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, he lied. And the Met are now reviewing a whopping 9,000 grooming gang cases. Over 9,000! Now, former Met police detective calls Sadiq Khan out over this, saying he is mocking us, this is vile criminality, and so much more. Check this out.
This man is clearly in denial about what's actually going on in the city and under his watch to innocent children.
He's mocking. That's what he's doing. He's mocking. This is vile criminality, and kids are at mortal risk here. He's not addressing it. People should be jumping in and saying, this stops now. Under my watch, this does not go on. And all he's doing is a seminar in semantics, and he's mocking a good woman who's addressing the problem. Look, listen, it doesn't matter if he was lower down the rank, but he's not. This is the man who's in charge of this city. He's in charge of policing in this city.
Yeah, it's the crime commissioner, for God's sake. I mean, Pete, I want to bring you in here because I know
that was extraordinary, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, that's why when I started the show and you'd been talking to me earlier, I was sort of out of my body at one point because it really, really upsets me. I get so sensitive to this stuff. It's little children.
This is it's one of the lines this country has is you don't mess with kids. No matter what the issue is.
Seems like that's not the case.
Yes, and that's why the country is up in arms about this, and it is yet again the phrase found out. This was swept under the carpet, this was made to go away, and more importantly, this was what I call Westminstered away. It was hidden by language, it was devolved into different groups and different sections. There's nobody ever held specifically accountable within, from what I can understand, within the Met for child protective. So it's all this group and that group and that. That is not an accident, that is often done deliberately to spread blame in case something eventually does go wrong.
This man...
Absolutely. Now, Sadiq Khan, he's trying to play the victim even now. Sadiq Khan saying that haters are attacking him just because he's Pakistani and Muslim. Yeah, remember that clip that I just played to you a few moments ago? That's like 5 years old? Where someone just asked him an innocent question, what are you doing about the grooming gangs in London? Sadiq Khan then tries to play victim, saying, are you only asking me because of my faith? No, we're asking you because you're the mayor and the freaking crime commissioner. That's why. Well, he's still trying to peddle his victim status, even freaking now. Radio Genoa saying Sadiq Khan says haters attack him just because he's Pakistani and Muslim. No. He's the mayor of London. He's the crime commissioner. We want to know what he's doing to tackle the predominantly Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs that are operating in London. It is as simple as that. As Susan Hall says here, no, people just think he is an incapable idiot. Nothing to do with religion or ethnicity. Now, I published my post right here on X, where I responded to Sadiq Khan trying to change the goalpost, trying to move the spotlight away from his alleged, I'm going to have to say, corruption, to don't look here, but look here. Don't look here, but look here. Don't look here about the allegations that I tried to cover up the grooming gangs. Look here about what I'm doing about Operation Zoridon and cracking down against the organised shoplifting gangs, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? I didn't fall for that BS. As I said right here, now that you've been caught out, how about actually tackling the predominantly Muslim Pakistani grooming gangs that are operating in London? Yeah, unsurprisingly, I didn't get a response from him at all. But your favourite councillor, Susan Hall, says it best right here. Sadiq Khan wouldn't answer questions on the gangs. He said he didn't understand what I meant. The Met are now looking into 9,000 cases. Sadiq Khan is not worthy of the position of mayor. He should resign. And as Dame Andrea Jenkins says right here, let's not get away from this. We are dealing with Pakistani Muslim pedos. Yeah, because guess what, right? If you have intimate relations with a person under the age of 16, by our law, by our standards, by our society here in the UK, you are a pedo. Doesn't matter if you try and justify it with whatever religion you follow, whatever philosophy you follow, whatever ethics you follow. If that person is under 16 and you're having intimate relations with them, and you're an adult, you're over 16, you are a pedo. It is against the law. It is as simple as that. Why is the left, why is the government unable to literally grasp that, regardless of religion? And now, guys, after all of this, there is a protest that's being organised outside of City Hall on the 9th of November at 1 p.m. to demand the immediate resignation of Sadiq Khan, as announced by Young Bob. Right here. Join us outside City Hall on November the 9th at 1 p.m. We demand the resignation of Sadiq Khan for his cover-up of the grooming gangs. It's time to hold them accountable. Yeah, it is time to hold them accountable. And when it comes to the City of London, the first person to hold accountable, Sadiq Khan himself. He needs to resign now because it's only just going to get worse and worse for him. That is for damn certain. With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and unfortunately with the state of the UK at the moment, there's going to be more, but then make sure you subscribe to join our Alternerd tribe here at Political Nerds. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Steph Alternerd. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Do you think Sadiq Khan should resign now? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters.